welcome back to the channel. It's me, Rosecat. So in case you were unaware, I just so happen to be a fan of, you know, it's just this cute little indie game. Not that many people know about it. It's called, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, I'm a fan of that, and I've been a fan of that for a long time. In fact, it's one of the first things that ever got me into art, because I used to draw fan art all the time. That fan art was not very good, but it was fan art, and it's what got me into drawing. So I thought, you know, recently I was already drawing FNAF, and then I realized that their 8th anniversary was, recently. And I thought, you know, I might as well dedicate a little video to them, because they deserve it. So today we're going to be redesigning, none other than the Glamrocks from the newest game, Security Breach. Now, I don't really have anything, like, aggressively against the Glamrock designs. I mean, they work, they get across what they're supposed to for the most part, and they're definitely not the worst designs in the entire series. We all know who that is. But they're not objectively the best either, at least if you look at their actual source material. So I thought that I might as well go ahead and try and redesign them, both with my own flair, and also to try and make them a bit more, concise to what they were trying to convey, I suppose, as, you know, glam rock, rock star type things. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. I hope everyone enjoys. Alright, to start off with, it's the one, the only, Freddy Fazbear, everyone's favorite, fucking mechanical furry dad. He's actually the one who made me, do this in the first place, or like the one who, like, I started with, because essentially I've just always had, like, a big problem with his design, which is that I feel like his silhouette that he shares with the other characters, which is, like, the leg warmers, and, the shoulder pads and all that stuff, never really blended that well with his top hat and his bow tie, which, for some reason, that just drives me insane, and I can't really pinpoint why, it just always did. So the goal of this design was to more just make him more cohesive with those elements. So instead of giving him the same leg warmers and shoulder blade situation as everyone else, I gave him this very nice, flamboyant tuxedo jumper, blazer, like, thing type deal. He's actually based off of 1970s glam rock as opposed to 80s glam rock like the others, which is just so he can have this more classic outfit as opposed to the others. Because it, you know, it just matches his vibe better, you know? But yeah, so that's what I ended up doing. He's got these big ol' fucking bell-bottom looking things, for fashion points, and, on those bell-bottoms he's got these, like, lightning bolts, to kind of keep that motif in his design. That's something you'll notice with a lot of them, which is that I decided to make their motifs, or give them motifs that are a lot more, like, you know, bold, just because that's how I like to do my character design. So for him, obviously, it is lightning bolts, just like it is in the original game with his, face paint and stuff. His shoes were designed so that way they kind of mimic the same, like, overall concept as his claws in the original, or at least kind of, like, remind you of them. Just, you know, just for funsies points. I thought they would be cool. And then, as you can see, they're, like, big old platform boots type deal. And then, in case anyone was wondering about his, like, chest opening area situation, the way I was thinking that would work is that as opposed to it flipping open, it would more, like, lift up open, like a garage door. Like, it kind of goes, like, the one part, like, goes inside and then opens up that way. I don't know if that's, like, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but, if enough people bother me, maybe I'll make, like, a diagram or something, but that's the overall idea behind that. And then for his colors is where my bias starts to show, because, essentially I have this vendetta against the color red, and therefore I refused to use it in, like, anyone's design. Big my bad on my part, because I probably, like, if I wanted to do this properly, I probably should have done that and should have tried to work with the red, but look, man, it's my art, it's my designs. I I hate the color red and I can't make it work no matter what I do. And I thought it didn't look the best on his original design, so I just kind of swapped it out for this very bright, vibrant, warm orange. Like, it's still a warm toned orange. Like, it's a good, to me at least, that's a worthy replacement for the red. But yeah, it kind of gives him this nice, like, almost sunset-y color palette. But yeah, another disclaimer, because I said stupid things in the intro, when I said that this is supposed to be, like, more accurate to Glamrock fashion, I'm not saying I put a bunch of, like, time more effort into doing research on Glamrock fashion. I essentially just looked at Google Images for a bit and came to some conclusions based on the outfits that I saw. So yeah, I made sure that all of them were, like, historical photos and stuff, or historical. Historical is quite the word to use for pictures from, like, the 80s and 70s, but you know what I mean. So yeah, this isn't, like, you know, fucking perfect, like, perfect historical representation or anything. It's just, you know, what I saw and what I thought would look good, and that's all that really matters. But yeah, so that's all I have to really say about this guy. Alright, second character up is Monty Gator. He's one of my personal favorites out of the entire group. And I actually think I changed him, like, probably, not like the least out of everyone, but I definitely changed him a lot less than I did for Freddy. He's, instead of being a 70s Glamrock, he's very much classic 80s Glamrock, much like what the game was trying to convey. The main things I changed about him were just, like, I mostly just gave him more clothes. I feel like most of the character designs here are just, they would be better if they had more clothes. For some reason I feel like on FNAF animatronics, they have this giant aversion to giving them real clothes, which never really made sense to me, because if you look at real animatronics, a lot of the time they do have full outfits. Like, they don't have, like, I don't know, most FNAF animatronics just have, like, these little dinky accessories and nothing else, but most real animatronics do have full outfits, and I feel like that's a big part of characterization that gets lost because of that, so, yeah. But I made his mohawk a lot fluffier and bigger, because that's kind of the style of Glamrock people from the time, or glam rock artists, I guess, like musicians. I gave him these big old fucking boots. I gave him this, like, I don't know if that's supposed to be leather or denim. I think when I was drawing it, it was supposed to be leather. I didn't really texture it, though, so it's kind of hard to tell. You know, I kept his pants. His pants are still there. I like his pants. Also, you can't see him that well, but his belt is also still there. It's covered up by this giant fucking guitar, though, which this guitar is a star shape now, to kind of match with the motif I decided to give him, which is stars. Both because of, obviously, one of the biggest parts of his design in the original was that he had those star glasses, so I wanted to keep that in mind. Also just because, like, you know, rock star, I feel like he's the one who acts the most like a rock star out of the entire group, like, personality-wise, so I thought it would make sense. Speaking of his personality, another thing I wanted to keep in mind was that he's very aggressive in-game, you know, just in general. He's obviously got some sort of, like, anger. I don't want to say anger issues because that's mean, but he is the most aggressive and, like, ferocious seeming in the group. So I wanted to kind of make that clear in his design with all these aggressive, like, pointy bits and spikes and that kind of thing. When it comes to his boots, it was actually pretty easy for me to do those because apparently that style is, like, really popular, or was really popular in Glamrock fashion to have those types of, like, star designs on the boots. So that makes sense. For his tail, I decided to still make it alternating colors, except it's two different colors of green instead of yellow and green, and then the yellow kind of acts as this underbelly portion of it. And then those alternating colors match with the alternating colors on his mohawk, except those are purple instead of green, obviously. Yeah. I'm really proud of the way I drew this tail. I just think it looks cool, and I like how I segmented it. That's all I have to really say about that. His colors didn't get switched around too terribly much. Basically all I did with them is that his mohawk was red, which I don't understand at all because there's nowhere else on his character design as far as I can tell that's red. Maybe his eyes are red, I don't know. Last time I checked they're not, but also all of the pictures I saw of him, he was wearing his shades. So yeah. But I changed it to not be red because I thought that was stupid. Also because of my hatred of red, which I mentioned earlier, but that wasn't the only reason this time, I swear. So yeah, that's basically all I have to really say about him. I'm pretty happy with him, even though I feel like he is one of the least changed of the animatronics, and I basically just gave him a lot more detail. I think they're good details, and I think they really bring out his character design in a good way. So yeah. Alright, it's time for my second favorite character, which is Glamrock Chica. I think that she's one of the most underrated characters. I think she's absolutely adorable. But I also recognize that I'm a bit biased because she basically just hits every character design trope that I personally love, such as her color scheme and her super girly demeanor and all that stuff. So that might just be me, but I like her, and that's what matters. She is the one that I actually think I changed the least out of everyone other than Monty. Because I basically, like... Okay, so the reason I didn't change her that much is because her design actually made the most logical sense in the context of, like, what she does in the Pizzaplex and what she stands for. Because essentially, like, her entire brand is about being, like, semi-health conscious, all about exercise, that kind of thing. And she's wearing this, very classic 80s, like, aerobic, like, you know, workout video leotard type thing. With the leg warmers, and I think that actually makes a lot of sense for her and looks very cute. So I wanted to keep that kind of in mind for her and kind of not try to deviate from that all that much while still trying to add my own flair to it. So this was my conclusion. I gave her this heart motif just because I thought that would make sense for a lot of the other more girly aspects of her design. I thought it would be super cute. She's got this tutu, this like translucent tutu, that's actually semi-based off of Mitzi Mozzarella from the Rock-afire Explosion, because in the new Rock-afire Explosion, basically the reboot of the original, Mitzi has this, like, you know, glittery type skirt moment thing. It doesn't really translate all that well if you put them next to each other, but I promise that's what it was originally based off of. I did change it a lot, though. And then she's got these platform Converse type things. Obviously platform Converse probably weren't even a thing that were, like, conceived in the 80s, but I thought that would be a cute way to kind of blend both the fact that she's very sporty and the fact that she's, you know, all the other characters have these big old platforms, and that's kind of something I associate with Glamrock fashion, so she gets to keep them in some way. I was originally going to re-add her leopard print motifs onto her shoes too, but I kind of just forgot and didn't think it was important enough to re-add, so they're just not there. I'm sorry if that kills anyone. I'm not the biggest fan of animal print anyway, that's just a personal thing, but yeah, I probably should have added them to be more clear, like true to the character, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. I did make it still alternating colors though, so that's important, because I actually do like the split color thing. Also, I'm sorry for how many times I've mispronounced alternating in this video. I can't speak very well. Just like Monty, she has a new shape of guitar, which is a heart, to match her motif. Also because her original guitar was actually a star, and I also obviously didn't want that to conflict with Monty's new design, so it only made sense to change it. Her bows are basically the same. I use the same bows that's on her hair for her shoes, and I realized that those are kind of cute because they're like candy wrapper shaped, and that makes sense for her too, because she really likes candy, according to the game, so yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't change her colors all that much. They're essentially, you know, she's still mostly, or not even mostly, she's like completely green and pink, which is my favorite color combination. Another bias that she has against me specifically, or towards me specifically, I guess? I don't know, but yeah. So I didn't change any of that, I just kind of made them more pastel and candy colored, I suppose. The reference I stole from, I don't actually know if those were the official colors or not, because the lighting was kind of weird on them, but they were kind of dark and muted and, like, weird, so, I basically just spiffed them up, just a tiny bit, you know? For her face paint, I didn't change it all that much. I basically just made that weird patch on her eye an actual heart instead of just, like, a weird shapeless blob. I don't know what that was about originally. And yeah, that's basically her. I'm super happy with her, even though I didn't change that much. I think she's super cute. Alright, last but not least is everyone's favorite Roxy Wolf. You know her, you love her, she's the fandom's favorite for some reason. I say that as if she's also not, like, she's good, I like her. I feel like a lot of people are going to be mad about this redesign though, which I'm going to ignore until later. So, let's talk about the things that are less atrocious that I changed about her. First things first, I gave her this big fluffy hair, pulled back in a ponytail, because I thought it would match the vibes, and be cute. Second of all, her main, piece of clothing here is this, what I consider to be, like, a race car jacket, like a racer's jacket. I imagine it'd be made of that, like, windbreaker material, you know which ones I'm talking about. And then on that jacket, I gave her classic starburst pattern, as well as her tiger stripes on the sleeves. Matched with that is her boots, which are basically the exact same pattern, and style, and probably texture. And then her guitar, which also matches pretty well. Those are basically all I have to say about that. I tried to keep her motifs pretty solid. I recognize that's kind of weird that her motif is so much more abstract than the others, since she has, like, more pattern-based, like, motifs as opposed to shape-based like the others. But I think that's okay. I still think that they match and get the idea down. I'm so sorry, I can't talk. But yeah, I wanted to really keep in mind that she's, like, a racer. So that's why she's got, like, the race car jacket and all that stuff, even if it is cutesy and cropped. But yeah, time to talk about the thing that is the most obvious change on her, as far, like, so obvious that you can tell through the sketch that I'm lining right now, which is that I ended up completely changing her color palette, and I'm going to have to explain some things. Okay, so basically what's going on here is that, her original color palette, did not like it very much, at all. And the reason why I didn't like it is because it was a bunch of colors that were smashed together in an ugly fashion. So, what did I not like about her color palette? Okay, so, the problem that I had with her color palette is that it was, purple, red, and green. Purple and red, bad start. Red and green, even worse. All of those things on one character, absolutely terrible. So, what I had to do is that I had to replace some of the colors in a way that made it more cohesive. So the first one I started with was red, because I hate red, and it was causing most of the problems. So when I replaced red, I thought, okay, I'll just replace it with, orange, just like I did for Freddy. Problem with that is that, once I changed, red to orange, obviously orange and purple don't look bad together at all. I think that's a nice color combination. But orange and green didn't make sense in this context, at least to me, at least when paired with the purple. So then I had to change out the green too to another color, and eventually I landed on this magenta color. And by the time I was done with all of these changes, I realized that her color palette was completely different, and also she looked like the lesbian flag. You know what? In my opinion, that is not the worst thing that could have happened. And I personally think that it looks very pretty on her. And I know not everyone will agree with this decision, but it is my decision, and I think it looks nice. And that's all that really matters, because these are my redesigns. And I know that most of these redesigns are already pretty weird. It just so happens that she's the one who got changed the most out of everyone. So yeah, that's kind of just what ended up happening. I don't know. I don't think it's a crime. I think she looks nice. I know that there's some people who are, like, giant fans of Roxy, who will probably, like, you know, be on my ass and think this is the worst thing ever, but I think it looks nice. And, you know, sometimes that's all that matters. This entire project was kind of a, like, you know, self-indulgent thing for me. I just kind of wanted to do it because I wanted to do it. It's not like, you know, I wasn't doing this to please anyone other than myself, so it's okay if that's all it ends up appealing to. But that being said, I do hope that other people see this design and are happy with it. Same thing with all of the designs in this video, even if they are not always everyone's taste. But yeah, overall I am pretty happy with her, and I hope that other people see that in her too. But yeah, I will see you at the end of the video. Alright, that's officially all of them done. Woohoo! Overall, I am pretty proud of this lineup. I think that they all look absolutely great. At least in my personal opinion, of course. And I hope everyone else, I hope everyone else likes them too. If you have a favorite, tell me down below what you liked, what you didn't like. I don't care. Give me constructive criticism if you want to. I'm not gonna stop you. I hope you guys really liked this one. It was kind of a massive peep. Actually, my progress for this video completely deleted, like, while I was working on it, and I had to completely do it again. It was not the best thing in the world. So I hope that, whoever ends up seeing this, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was worth my efforts. All that good stuff. If you're new here, and want to see what other, new crazy shit I end up doing next, maybe subscribe, or if that's too intense for you, you can just, like or comment and be on your way. You know how it is. But yeah, hopefully you'll stick around though, and I'll be able to see you next video. Goodbye!